How's it going, everybody? KTV3 here with a quick video. Um, what made me aspire to do this video is going to be at the title. If you've seen the title, you already know what to think about. I was thinking about some random things. What video should I do today? I don't really want to just do articles. I want to do some opinion type of thing. And my friend on PSN actually texted me and told me a question. Which one is actually, well, what do I think is actually kind of better in my own opinion, or pretty much as a whole? Bioshock Infinite or The Last of Us. No, so that gave me to inspired me to do this video. So thank you for that. He knows who I am. I don't. He knows who I'm talking about. I don't really want to say his name out there. I don't know if he wants his name mentioned. So thanks. Um, that's a hard question. I couldn't even answer back. That was a hard decision. Both these games are very, interesting and very unique to its own ways. When you look at Bioshock, for me, you got to go back to the first Bioshock, back in 2007. It was actually a game changer in this generation, in the start of this generation, 2007. It was first off, it was a first shooter. But what's interesting about this first shooter, not just the gameplay, but the story was very unique, very different. Now some games today, some stories don't, it's not really actually good in the single player. It's mostly most about gameplay. Some examples can be a Battlefield 3. Battlefield 3, many people bought the game for the multiplayer. The single player was actually short. It was kind of dull, kind of, decent. Wasn't really that great. But Bioshock, set the record that a shooter can have a unique story, and that unique story in Bioshock One actually was very interesting. Had a lot of mysteries, and it just keep on, keep you guessing. I had to replay the game like 13, 14 times, just because I fell in love with the game, and actually Bioshock is one of my favorite games of this generation. The second Bioshock, it takes from that too as well. Add a little bit more gameplay. The story wasn't as great as the first one, but it was, still got that good story, Bioshock type of story to it. And in Bioshock Infinite, it just blew it out the water. It's pretty much, in my opinion, one of the best Bioshocks out of all three of them. It's kind of hard to decide between the first one and Bioshock Infinite. Infinite has a lot of, different things in it. You're in the new environment. Instead of you in the water, you're actually in the air. You meet new cast of characters. The gameplay is outstanding, and the ending to that Bioshock Infinite will be talked about for generations to come. Haven't really actually seen an ending like that in video games for a while. Now, when you look at The Last of Us is actually a game that came out recently. It's about to be the end of this generation. It had a lot of talk to it before even, people even got to it, got in our hands. Game of this generation, got all these great awards. It's been delayed about once, I think. It's supposed to come out in the beginning of May, but in the end, well, in June 14th, it actually came out. The wait was actually worth it. Get your hands on this game. It's a masterpiece. Everything they talk about it. It actually should deserve it. This game actually is very unique in its own mind. Um, the story, the characters. It has that touch of survival horror that that's actually been missing for the last couple of years. The only game that I can remember that had a good survival horror to it was Resident Evil 4. Then Resident Evil 5 was actually kind of decent. Resident Evil 6 wanted to go to the action adventure type. You can put Dead Space in this as well, and this is a very masterpiece of a game. Naughty Dog actually took their time and worked on this. Taking it from them working on the platforms like Jack and Daxter and like Crash Bandicoot, and on Jack and Daxter they added platforming and gun mechanics to it. Then Nathan Drake with the Uncharted series, action adventure. It looked like you watching a movie. Good cinematic movies, good cinematic scenes, all this amazing and great stuff. And then seeing The Last of Us, actually their first time actually working on a rated M game, and survival horror, they actually nailed this. So, it's kind of tough to see which game is kind of better. In my own opinion, it has to be a tie. I mean, I don't know. It's crazy because The Last of Us, a game announced the game of this generation. Bioshock, a game that came out in the first of this generation. So that's something you can look at. Look back on this generation. When this generation is done, you can always look back at these two that actually changed the ways. Bioshock changed the ways of shooters. That shooters can have a unique storyline and, as always, a great gameplay mechanic. While The Last of Us is, bringing back the survival horror back. And with the Dead Within coming out next year and such, it looks like survival horror is kind of getting its way back. So pretty much all to say. What do you guys think is better, Bioshock Infinite, Last of Us? To me, I don't know. I think it's a tie because both of the very great games, and no doubt, both of these two games are games of this generation, no doubt about it. The whole Bioshock series can say the game of this generation is talking about from the first one. I can't really choose between which one. They're both very amazing games. KCB3, as always, have a wonderful day, everybody.